All right, I think we are live. And yes, we are. Good evening. This is Omni Sanders down here in Jacksonville, Florida, Hurricane Less Matthew overcoming the odds. And yeah, thank goodness that hurricane's over with from last week. So, yep, just wanted to get right into as far as, your self talk and business, because something that I heard when I was in a previous company in the home based business profession few years ago that was really disturbing to me at the time. And the time the trainer had said that over 70% of what we tell ourselves is negative. It's unfortunate, but we'll get further in depth as far as that, how to counter all that later on. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and take it out to California.
Hi, guys. This is Patricia Henry here. And yes, I am in sunny California. Last week, Andre was not quite underwater, but you thought you'd be blown away by Hurricane Matthew. You live in Florida. Where again? It's Jacksonville?
Yep.
Yep, Jacksonville, California. Jacksonville, Florida. And I live here in California where we have earthquakes. And I can say that there had been a few tremblers that we don't feel. You know how that goes. They say that they happen every day out here, but nothing like what was experienced back there in the East Coast and Florida and North Carolina, South Carolina. It was horrible. But we could have that as a limiting self-belief too, that we can't move on, we can't move forward with life. But we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, and we have to kind of look beyond all of these devastating things that happen. I mean, we acknowledge them, that's true, because maybe our clients are affected, or our customers, or people that we want to be on our team. But how do we help them get rid of self-limiting beliefs or the things that we tell ourselves where we can't move forward in business?
Yep, and that's true. As what Patricia mentioned too is no different from again what I mentioned earlier, as far as a lot of what we tell ourselves is negative. And it's unfortunate. Can you blame us, being as people being around as far as today's society, media, traditional media, social media, really everything is just straight negative. I mean, I remember listening to Tony Robbins on a Facebook Live a few months ago, and he was saying that really traditional media was getting their butts whipped from social media. And what was the main way for traditional media to get your attention was some way to startle you. At that time, it was a lot of the police beatings, police killings or whatever. A great way for traditional media trying to get a little bit of your attention from social media. But again, social media has been getting again pretty much a grab over the last, you can say, 7, 8, 9 years, because it keeps on continuing to grow, and a lot of people are on it these days. But again, it's really just mainly negative. So when you apply that to your everyday life, again, it comes back to what you're telling yourself. It's unfortunate because you're going to go down percentages, people that are very successful, it's always going to be less than 5%. Now it can be bigger, but it's no different from, that story that you might have heard, as far as, if you got, if it's lobsters or crabs, and when that pot, and the one crab's trying to get out, but you got the other one trying to pull it back. As far as misery loves company. So there are ways to reprogram your mindset, so you won't be telling yourself as far as negative stuff, and you won't be putting that same energy out into your everyday conversation. It's for your business owner too. You won't be putting that out too, so people, your followers, maybe subscribers, leads, however you want to have your prospects, whoever, won't get that feeling as far as this being straight negative, and again, it's really unfortunate. There are really good positive affirmations too. We can go down a whole list of books, people to listen to as well, but you got to come down to making that decision on your own, as far as, from start with what you want to do, and as far as what positive information you want to put in your mind. So when you do have that, that one negative counter, as far as somebody maybe saying no, somebody want to be bashing on you. Again, if you're in the home-based business profession, they might be uneducated on you, so they might want to bash on you for whatever reason. Let us be this pure negative. You can counter that, in a positive way, other than trying to react. And it's kind of really just making the problem a little bit bigger. That's the main thing. So that's something to keep in mind too for this evening, because again, there are ways just to do your reprogramming. And I know people such as Bob Proctor, he's real good at this. He's been doing it for decades. He's always looked at a particular book, and he would be the first one to tell you he's been reading it for over 55 plus years. He's talking about Think and Grow Rich, as far as he's still learning something, being in his early 80s, new from that book. And because it's just a lot of stuff that can help reprogram your mindset. But Napoleon Hill mentions as far as having a definite major purpose. And then after that, it's self-confidence formula as well. I can, I don't want to guarantee you anything, because you can see I can disclaimer below, because they're never going to guarantee you anything, whether it be results or, incomes, whatever. But you continue to do something as far as, give yourself a certain affirmation. You say it daily. Once you continue to hear that, your subconscious mind is going to start to pretty much overtake the conscious mind part, as far as you will see yourself going into motion, as far as toward your goals, dreams, whatever it is. It's kind of funny, because also in the book, The Magic of Thinking Big, David Schwartz mentioned the same thing. He had a different affirmation, a little bit shorter than Napoleon Hill's, but still very effective. I don't remember it word for word, but I was just like, wow, it's kind of interesting once you continue to either say something, or maybe you might write something. You might write something daily, or choose to read something daily, just so you can just get that reprogram your mind. Because then once you start having that really that little, the little voice in the back of your head saying, what, I can do this. Man, watch out as far as what action steps you're going to start taking. You might be more honed in your focus, as far as not really getting distracted. In the online world, because I came from the offline world, a home-based business, I know there's a lot of people online get distracted a lot. They get distracted with different programs. They think this is going to be the next one. They keep on jumping in from company to company, not saying the same thing that's happening in the offline home-based business profession. But, there's a lot of distractions that just hold people back from getting to where they want to do. And if you're a traditional business owner, really the same thing can apply, as well as maybe another marketing strategy to help build your business, and you're still kind of, want to keep on doing this as well. You wonder why your business is so stagnant. Sometimes this comes down to just being this laser focused on something. So you might be asking, why do you get laser focused? It comes down to being, number one, being real clear what you want. We can sound like a broken record player all day, but it really is true. You can be like, well, I already know that. Well, yeah, but once you actually apply that, it's different than just knowing it. When it's actually applied, guess what? You're going to see yourself go into your own different forward motions, because that's just something that you want to do. That's something that you choose to do. And again, you won't have time for the distractions. You won't have time for the negative self-talk, which holds people back. And it's really unfortunate. We can go down a list as far as what holds people back, as far as, just little things. And I don't know, Patricia, you want to get into some of those things that you had mentioned earlier before we got on here, as far as like some of those little stuff. It doesn't have to be everything, but it's little stuff that people pick up and that they tell themselves, and this holds them back. And another thing too, before you do mention that, something I remember reading from one of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad books, there were several times where Kiyosaki mentioned that his Rich Dad told him, just mind the power of your words. One of the books that he mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, was the Cash Flow Quadrant. As far as, we have the employee side, self-employed side, specialists, big business owner side, and investor side. There are certain words and phrases that those people will use to the core. And something that I've realized too, still being in this profession the last few years, to pick up on that in conversation with people. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, no wonder you limit yourself. Not saying that you can't do something, because it's like, man, you got all the potential in the world, but you keep on holding yourself back just for certain words that you use. And the thing with words is, Rich Dad had told Kiyosaki, they're free. It just comes down to, again, I mentioned earlier, as far as you want to make a choice to, use successful words, listen to people of success. That's just something personally I know I've chosen to do, probably something that you would have chosen as well. But the thing is once you want to listen to the certain patterns, as we mentioned a couple of people already, some of the books that they have read too as well. There's so many different books too. There's so many different people to listen to. You choose which ones you want to listen to, or listen to all of them. They're all going to hit something that you're going to resonate with. But it's not so much listen to them. Listen to how the words that they use. And that's another thing that's so true, as far as that could either help you or it's holding you back. So that's the one thing I have to mention real quickly. Patricia, I don't know if you wanted to go into that list that you had because a lot of that stuff is real true as far as what holds people back.
Yes. Well, the whole thing of it is that we have these, self-limiting beliefs and come from our upbringing, family traditions, the society, um, our education, our life experiences, whatever it is, we have them. Everybody has a self-limiting belief. The idea is to get over these, especially when it comes to business. I know we do meet a lot of different people who maybe want to get into business or join a business. And then once you really question them or do a survey about it, they have this resistance to doing certain tasks and doing certain things. I know I did because I had self-limiting beliefs, let's face it. But some of the things that we tell ourselves, there was about 8 of them. It's just like, I lack motivation. Maybe you were at a regular job and you went and you just did a task. You were told what to do. And especially, like, say, for instance, a factory worker, it might be really hard for them to get out of the rut. They're doing the same thing for 20, 30, 40 years, and then they retire. Now they find themselves wanting to become their own entrepreneur, that school doesn't teach them how to do. But how do you get motivated? How do you do that? You think that the alarm goes off at the same time. You drove to work, like I said, for 30 or 40 years. You did what your boss told you, and then that was it. That was your self-motivation, maybe the alarm clock. But now you find yourself at home. You find yourself either laid off or semi-retired or whatever, and you have to find motivation within yourself, basically. That's where you have to find it. And we know there's a lot of, like I said, influential outside influence, like your significant other, your spouse, or your children, or people like that, or friends that are not going to be in your side and in your corner, because they may believe that they can't do it and you can't do it too. So you don't want that to be your motivation. You're going to have to find that with a team of people that can help motivate you, that have been there and done that, right? Then the next one is procrastination. Sometimes we're working at home. It's easy to procrastinate. Oh, I could do that tomorrow. Or I could do that the next hour. Or I could do whatever. And that seems to be a big factor when we are at home. Once again, if you were that worker that was in an office, what do? You have set parameters that your boss wants you to fulfill and get done. So you get it done. Like if you are putting, I don't know, something to, I used to work in the garment industry, and it was always rush, 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 rush. We did not have any time to procrastinate, because for 5 seasons that we did per year, we had to get the line out to our salespeople. So from start to finish, I had to design the line, get the fabrics, have my sample maker, make the pattern maker, make the patterns. I had to do my drawings. Every day was a constant change. There was no time for procrastination, so that the finished product could be done. The garment would be made up, from in the morning. We may come in, from start to finish, get the garment made, or get the drawing made, choose the fabrics, make the pattern, have the sample, the cutter cut it out, have the sample maker make it up, do whatever changes there were, and get it out to show my boss, for that afternoon meeting that was maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock, right? So that's the routine. But when you're at home, I could cut this out tomorrow, right? I don't have any deadline, so I can do it whenever. But, again, if you're a seamstress and you have a business, even a home-based business with that kind of a business, and if you have clients, they want to see it. They have a time period. Maybe you're doing a wedding dress, or you may be doing bridesmaid, or you're doing it for some special occasion, or a tailor shop. You still have to have a schedule where you don't procrastinate on the things that you're doing. The next one happens to be, I don't have time. Well, like I said, I was in the garment industry. We had to be boom, boom, boom. We had to do things like yesterday, or how about this, weeks ago. So there was no, I don't have time. You've got to get it done. But that's a big thing. People say, I don't have time. And that's a big just stating that is a big time waster and stealer. So having a good schedule and how to make time, if you have a family, like I said, you have a spouse, you have someone else who is depending on you through the course of the day, or maybe you're taking care of, if you are retired like myself, I am not taking care of any older parents. My parents have passed away. But for instance, my father, he had cancer, and I was doing my business at home, which is one thing I like about having a home-based business. And I could work on my helping my father and my business at the same time. So that I really enjoyed, because that's the kind of freedom that I had with having an online business. And of course, when my father called me, then I was there for him. Like I said, and he died back in 2013, but that shouldn't stop you from doing what you need to do with your business. Let's see, the next one here is I don't have enough resources. We know we're talking about money, M-O-N-E-Y, and some people don't have enough money to start a business. So what do? Start small. Small steps, work up, learn all that you can learn, and go slowly. And as you build up your funding, then jump into something that you can afford. Now, I know that with our business, we encourage you to go all in, which is a significant chunk of money. However, you can start off with our blog and our platform for as little as $25 a month. And even we have a free trial for, I believe it's $7. You can see what it is and how it works before you jump all in, so to speak. So if you're limited resources, there is always a way to be able to get into business without you saying that as a limited belief. Andre, is there anything else you want to say? I did have a few more, but
well, real quick, just to add on the limiting belief, and this is another thing too. It's a little bit off topic, but at the same time, it is on topic. As far as and Patricia, we mentioned this so many times, off the air. As far as what people will say about money in general, as far as what limits themselves, and I used to kind of be like, oh, be kind of shocked when I would talk about as far as monetary things. But now it's kind of flipped. And it's true that it's flipped because, when some people will probably look down as far as like when somebody was like, oh, all you do is talk about money. Well, let's be honest. Let's be perfectly honest right now in today's times. If you want to do something right now, more than likely it requires this thing called M-O-N-E-Y. This is be brutally honest as far as like, it's like, oh, man, money is everything. Yeah, but being broke is. It's something I remember hearing that in my previous company as well. Because let's be real. If you want to do something you want to do, guess what? You would need some type of money. It more than likely like, oh man, you don't have the time. Guess what? It's not different than this. And it's unfortunate that I'm even saying this, but a lot of divorces. I heard this from an interview from Eric Worre he did with if it's the owner of Number Marketing Pro, he had with $1 million earning another company, and the lady at the time she was divorced, and she was like, yeah, for those that think that money is not everything, is like when it comes to divorce, she was like basically implying you're full of yourself, because that was her case, unfortunately. As far as I mentioned, like people don't say, oh, they don't want time or whatever. I'm not saying this is a problem with you for those watching, but it does hold you back as far as doing things with your loved ones. If you still got to work these long hours or whatnot, guess what? That's because of money. It's like, well, no, but because my job says that, guess what? But guess what? You're working for what? More than likely, you're probably not working there because you love it. Not saying you do. You probably do. I'm not sitting here bashing on jobs either, but I'm just being straight up with you. It's the monetary needs that holds us back from doing the things that we love to do. And for those that will have that type of limiting belief when it comes to money, guess what? If you do start to get a good bit of it, you will start to push that away because of your limiting belief on money. Jim Rohn said it best many years ago, and I'm really paraphrasing all this as far as, money does not, your income doesn't far exceed your personal development. He's dead on. He was dead on at that. That really is true. So, you could be somebody as far as like, man, like, like, man, I would like to make a lot of money. And then once you start getting it and you wonder why you can't hold on to it, we can talk about financial education, all day long. I mentioned Robert Kiyosaki, who's really into that as far as, financial education. But the point is, as far as the belief that we put on ourselves too, we talk about business, but guess what? You got to be able to generate revenue for your business. It doesn't matter what type of business that you run, and if you're putting yourself this limiting belief on that, guess what? It's not so much in your business, maybe also in your personal life as well. You're going to have a struggle. And again, you got to get rid of those limiting beliefs that you put on yourself. So again, what I just mentioned earlier, as far as when people used to be like, "Oh man, all you do is talk about money." Well, you need that to get the things that you love to do. Because more than likely, a person that's mentioned that is really not jumping up and down as far as enjoying being away from their families for so many hours in the day and in the week. They're looking at the potential. So I'm not saying I'm looking down those that talk down people that talk about money, but I'm just saying you're not uneducated. That's what I'm saying as far as the game of money, and it really is a game. Some people might not like to hear that, but when you read books, I'm in one reading right now called Money and Master the Game by Tony Robbins, and I've already read 18 of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad books. You can take a hint as far as where I'm at too, and this is something coming from somebody who came from the business world now. Not business world, business school. Who, to be honest with you, I was embarrassed when I first started reading Kiyosaki's Rich Dad books, and it told me dilly squat as far as the really finances or whatever. And in school, they told me how to be a great employee, but as far as being a business owner, you got to get out there and roll your sleeves up, and also too, you got to have the mentality as well as far as like, okay, I'm going to make this. That's why we mentioned earlier, you got to be clear in what you want, because when you're clear on what you want, then everything will start coming on board. Again, as I mentioned, I don't have a problem with anybody talking about as far as for money, what we want to do with it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. It's not so much, okay, I'd like to have a great bit of money. Cool. Now, what is that exactly want to do with it? I was talking to somebody, I think in the Facebook chat, I think last week, he was the leader in our community, and he asked me as far as what I want. I didn't even mention money. I first mentioned my dreams before I even got to the money part. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's where I put the value as far as that. I know it would take this amount for me to get there. You see what I'm saying? And then from other dreams as well. So that's what I'm trying to come across as far as that, to wash away the negative belief that you might put on yourself some money. You see that all the time with lottery winners. What was it, late last year? We had that, the lotteries had that 15, well, it's not 50, it's over $1 billion, but, I know most people were not financially educated if they had that amount of money right then and there, because, the statistics always show that it was get worse off than where they were before. Financial education, and again, with that self-talk where they talk about themselves on money. You see what I'm saying? So it really does come also to not so much this limited beliefs, but the education that you put on yourself to get there to where you want to go. So that's what I wanted to mention real quickly.
Well, I was going to say that when people still have expenses. They think that the American dream is they retire and they get that SSS checked, right? That Social Security check. And then they realize that, oh my goodness, we don't have enough money for insurance, especially if you retire early and you're not 65 years old. What do you do with that retirement gap? In the case that my husband was younger than me, he was still working. So he covered our health insurance through work. But, when you've lost a job or you lose a job, that COBRA insurance, you're no longer under group insurance. So you have to pay a hefty fee. I believe it's $500 per person, depending on, whatever insurance company it is that you want to get perhaps everything. And it could be even more than that, I'm sure. If you want to they have like bronze, silver, and gold. And we just found that out recently for my husband to get Kaiser. The silver package is like $400, almost $500 a month. Now, if you're not working, how can you possibly afford that? Your maybe unemployment has run out and things like that. So money, you you times that by 12. Do you have that much money in your bank account? That type of thing. So you need money. And just to think that that money is all going to go to insurance and you don't see a dime of it for anything. Of course, if you're healthy and you're paying for your health insurance, you're thinking to yourself, okay, there just goes my money. It's wasted. Of course, you need it if you're sick, but it doesn't cover what you want it to. The lower insurance plans don't cover your prescription drugs, which they want 100% of, or 1,000% you have to pay. When you're on the insurance, you pay copay. It could be as little as $2.50, or like mine is $0 because I'm retiring next month. Actually, I am retired, but I'm actually going to be turning 65, so I'm on Medicare and stuff, and all of my drugs are paid for. But when you're working, you don't think about these things because your boss is covering your insurance. Your paycheck, of course, is paying part of it, but you don't have to think about that. You see the seniors working at Walmart. It's not to go on vacation or cruises. They are Walmart greeters because they're trying to make extra money to pay for their insurance, right? So that is something that it's not a good thing. And then you cannot live off of the little piddly money, like I said again, that you make off of retirement. It's totally impossible. I don't know where Andre went. Andre, are you there? I think he disappeared, guys. But for some reason, like I said, his power, he was in a hurricane. He's back. All right. Andre, I can't see you. I can see you on the screen, but I can't see you down below.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Our audience won't be, hopefully they'll be able to see you. But I wanted to move on to the next one. Did you did you get kicked off again, or?
No, I was just I just went off real quick. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to make sure there was no power failure. Like with me, like last time, how I somehow got kicked off, 2 or 3 times and had to come back on. But I wanted to go on to the other thing. It's too late to change. That's another self-limiting belief for us. Even again, since Andre is young, I am older, like I said, and my self-limiting belief is that I'm too old to change. I don't want to change. I can't change. But it's interesting because when we have become entrepreneurs, we have to change. There's so many people who don't want to get on and do their videos. You have a free platform, which is your cell phone. As I mentioned before, you could take your cell phone here, make great videos with the cameras that they have on your cell phone, shoot your own little mini commercials, upload it to YouTube, or just upload it to Facebook and do a call to action for people to join your business. But we meet so many people that have those self-limiting beliefs that they can't change. They can't do a video. They're too fat. They're too ugly. They didn't get their hair done. They didn't, I don't know, whatever their self-limiting belief is, or what are people going to think about me when I get online? Or when you hit that play button, a record button on here, you can do as many takes as you want until you get used to it. You don't say that you're too old to change, because you're changing, you're branding yourself, and you're making yourself available to so other people can see you, so that they can potentially buy from you. Yeah, maybe you weren't a salesperson before, or maybe you were behind the scenes. Again, I take that factory worker that never had to go and, go out and be part of the sales force to sell the product. But now you're in this position, and it would seem feasible that you would want to change, because once again, this is your business that you are creating for yourself, and the end result is money, right? Again, it's the money that you need to make for your livelihood and potentially your family's livelihood, if you do have a family. And then again, like Andre said, if you don't have money, how can you help other people? That's the main thing. You know, for me as a woman, I enjoy taking people out to lunch and, you know, my girlfriends or people, if they have a family, I don't want to just say, oh, well, only you can come. You know, how about treating the family? That would be wonderful. Or if you have a family and you're waiting for a special occasion, you can always do potluck where everybody can bring something. And how would it be? Wouldn't it be nice if you had enough money where you could put?
Hey, Patricia, your volume's kind of faint right now.
Uh-oh, you can't hear me?
It's a little faint. I don't know why it is.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There you go. There you
go. Okay, okay. I know we're having problems today. It's weird. But anyway, that's part of technology, but we still forge on, right? Those self-limiting beliefs. We could say, my volume's not working. I think this is not good. I'm going to jump off and let Andre take it over, right? Well, remember, guys, he was in a hurricane broadcasting from his truck, you know, last week. So no self-limiting beliefs, guys. The next one here happens to be, let's see, and I broke my glasses, so these are my old glasses, guys. I could say, well, I can't jump on this hangout because I can't see with these old glasses. But anyway, it says, I have too many responsibilities. Like I told you guys, I had the responsibility of taking care of my father who had cancer, who ended up dying. No matter what kind of responsibilities you have, those responsibilities should have taught you a lesson that you can forge onward. You can do anything that you set your mind to. Remember, there should be no fears. What is it? Fears is false. What was it? Help me, Andre.
Disappearing real.
False evidence appearing real. Exactly. All right. So if you have too many responsibilities, we learn from them and we learn to schedule them in or out of our lives so that we can become productive in our businesses. The next one is, I have no clue who I am. Well, in this particular business, everybody has a passion. Everybody is passionate about doing something, whether you love to be a football player or a fashion design, like Andre rather, a fashion designer like I was, or even that, I keep bringing up that factory worker. And the reason why I say that is because that person thinks that that's all that they were doing, that they didn't have a passion in life. They didn't know who they were. But I bet you on the weekends, what did they do? They're looking forward to Friday, looking forward to having that day off or weekend off to go pursue some passion, whether it was boating or sports or, you know, watching their children go to soccer or whatever. We have a blogging platform that we sell. And in that blogging platform, how can you bring what you've learned through all those other activities online? How could you do that? Through a blog. So you cannot say that who you are. You learn to brand yourself through whatever passion you have in life. Andre, I'll take a break and let you say something.
You know what? I have to go back to a couple things that you mentioned. One of them being the whole age difference. Something I remember reading from Napoleon Hill's book, you know, The Master Key to Riches, as far as, you know, that really is a limiting belief when people start talking about age. And, you know, being, you know, still continue to play sports, you know, semi-pro football for the last 9 seasons. I played in high school and college as well. It really is a pet peeve of mine when people talk about the age factor in sports. It really is, because you really do not have any scientific belief, you know, backing as far as somebody slowing down. I've seen so many top athletes in their 30s and plus perform at a high level here the last few years. And, you know, something, again, that Rich Dad had told Robert Kiyosaki as far as, you know, always question old ideas, because what you have as far as an old idea, what you have as a new idea, it would be like that old idea was probably old literally yesterday. You know, there really is no backing whatsoever. People can say all they want, but when you're seeing somebody in their 30s, let's say we talk about the NFL, all right, National Football League, you see a running back in their 30s. I'm seeing a handful of them here as of late in their 30s still performing at that level. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a backup or not. You're in the National Football League, so that's a small percentage as far as that. You know, I can go down a list of guys: D'Angelo Williams for the Steelers, you know, Adrian Peterson for the for the Vikings. You know, the list can go on. But the thing is,
And
it's
what
like,
about you, Andre? What about you? You know, with your incident in the hospital.
so what again?
Your incident about you being in the hospital. You're 32, right?
Yeah, I'm 32. But the
And
thing is,
what happened to you? See, you did not stop. Thank goodness.
oh, you talking about like when I was I had a heart stent placed in me a year ago. And you know, it's funny, after this past season, I was still named the All-Star for my for my team to represent my team, which is pretty cool. You know, after what happened, you know, what I just went through. Had that too. Oh, by the way, I also torn a rotator cuff during the middle of the season. But the thing is, I kind of overlooked that. I didn't see anything of it. You know what I mean? It's like, here's the roadblock, and I'm just like, okay, because I don't have time for it. Because, again, my dream is more important than that was going on. You see what I'm saying? Like last week when I was in the middle of a hurricane and the truck had no business being outside, but, you know, still got to deliver this on a weekly basis. So be it. So personally, I really don't have time for it. I guess I've been that clear as of late too, and my purpose is that strong. I can really give two craps as far as distractions, whatever. I get them all the time. Had somebody I looked up to again today talk to me about another program, and I was like, you know, I told him flat out, like, I'm taking something that he had mentioned, listened to him so many times, just focusing in. And he had more respect for me because of that, because, you know, that's where I'm at right now. Because, you know, that's what happens when you're laser focused. So going back to what I was mentioning as far as the whole age thing, you know, you really gain more experience and wisdom over the years. You know, some people sees that as like Patricia mentioned, limiting themselves. Oh, it's not. That's really a plus. You're wiser, you're smarter. They're like athletes, like let's say in the NBA. You know, they might be, if they're in their 30s too, they're a little bit more craftier. You know, we just saw, you know, a handful of them retire, and it's kind of bittersweet seeing them retire. Cause like, man, I grew up watching, you know, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, good era of, you know, guys that I remember growing up watching. They're all retired, but here these guys are late 30s, maybe early 40s, and performing at the high level of the National Basketball Association. Come on now. You know what I mean? So, you know, like, oh, but those are guys on that level. Okay, but there are also a handful of other ones too. So I might be pointing out those particular, but there are other ones too that you don't see in the media that much that are still at that level. It doesn't matter. I'm maybe listening to, you know, two different leagues, sport leagues. But the thing is, you know, you can't use that as an excuse. You know, I've seen guys too. I remember playing against a couple of guys as far as semi-pro. One guy was 35, went to play arena ball, won a championship. Rookie, won a championship in arena ball. So you're talking about when you see something like that, it's kind of this, you know, here's your world, your reality. And you see something like that's just completely out of your reality. It's like, man, you're talking about a different perspective. So you're going to stay negative on that, or you're going to be like, you know what, you're going to see what's possible. You see what I'm saying? And then I had a guy that I was going to play with a couple of years ago. Next thing you know, he's playing arena ball. He's a year older than me. He's playing arena ball as defensive back for a team up in Savannah. So, you know, you keep on seeing different possibilities as far as, you know, just using examples of sports. That's not true as far as being slowing down or whatever. You're a wiser, you're a little bit smarter too. You know how to treat your body, you know, because, you know, when you're younger, you pretty much can just go gun ho because it's like, you know what, I'm younger. Let's see, I don't have to worry about anything. But you get more experience, you're wiser, and you learn some stuff too as well, being, you know, older in age. And the same thing applies to business. You do have experience. You know, you've seen some stuff, and maybe in the corporate world, you've seen some stuff being a traditional business owner. You can't use that as a kind of like to hold you back. I remember listening to somebody, I think a year ago at an event, if I'm not mistaken, he was in his 80s, and he was talking about, I think, some past war experiences. I know he was talking about World War II. I don't know if he was a World War II veteran, but I know he was mentioning something about that. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This guy was in his 80s talking about it. It had the whole crowd that's silent. I was like, you've got to be kidding me with speaking, you know? So, I mean, again, you can't use this as limiting beliefs. Now, the thing, too, going back to what also Patricia mentioned as far as responsibilities. Oh, if you're a parent, we better not hear anything about you being limited, because I know if you want to get started as far as doing something on your own, your kids are more than likely your why, you know? Now, I would like to take the approach of, also if you're a parent, being a little bit selfish as far as, okay, we understand you want to take care of your kids, but I also like to get down to what you want to do as a parent, besides being a great parent for your kid. You see what I'm getting at? Because, Patricia mentioned as far as having that passion, there is still a passion that you have. And again, it doesn't matter if you are a parent or not. That's great too that you are a parent. Like I say, I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm not saying not being a parent, but on top of being a good one toward your child or your children, what is it that you want to do yourself? See what I'm saying? I mean, for starters, you might just want to be a great parent. Cool. But I still like to get to the fact as far as, okay, when the kids get older, too, now what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Something with Robert Kiyosaki asked his wife, Kim, when they first went out on their first date. And it's funny, they'll be married 30 years here come next month. See what I'm saying? So always like to get down to nitty gritty as far as that passion, that's something that you like to do. I used to ask this about previous company as far as, money and time was the issue, what do you want to do? Same type of question, just worded differently. You know what I mean? And I know my brother had heard something too from Brian Tracy. It's like, in money, time was the issue, what do you want to do? And if you were to die next week, what do you want to do? Oh boy, I bet you can get a good list out then. You see what I'm saying? So even if you were kind of stuck like, oh, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure you could if it was something like that. Really put you on the spot. I hate to be that extreme, but if that's the extra push to help us get to where you're trying to go, so be it. Because we have that burning desire buried within you, but as we mentioned earlier, you might have gotten beat down from this thing called life. Still can't use that as an excuse, because you still got to go on. I mean, it's Patricia mentioned that maybe you're that worker or whatever. You just kind of program yourself. There is some kind of a passion. Maybe it's just to relax every day in the week. Maybe you don't want to work as many hours as you do in the week. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to get at. So, we're just trying to just show you just the possibilities, but it comes down to, and again, I said this earlier, it'll sound like a broken record. It comes down to being exactly clear as far as what you want, and then once you do find out, it doesn't matter the type of the vehicle. Now, obviously we have one, which if you to go down to the Yes Let Me In, link below here. But it wouldn't matter what type of vehicle is really going to stop you. You're going to be like, I'm going to pursue this. Let me educate myself in this. And then going back to what we mentioned earlier as far as that purpose, that dream, that goal, that desire, when things do get tough, because, there are ups and downs to anything in life, you can always refer back to that dream or that goal, because there's no way, again, going back to if you're a parent, I could see any parent that will look at their kids or their child and quit on something and tell them that you're going to quit this, or quit whatever, and tell them straight up about that. There's no way you're a parent, you'll be able to do that, just pretty much eye to eye to your kids. So
yeah, because you're passing that tradition on to them, and that's a bad way to start off with your children, because they need to follow your lead and your example. And if you have that kind of a mindset and actions or lack thereof, what is that message sending to them?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to coach youth football, so I know as far as I can't be saying all the right stuff and not applying it myself. Now, the coolest thing too, as far as 7 years ago, when I was coaching as well, is I had some kids that actually came to some games, so it wasn't anymore me just actually saying the right stuff and just doing just talking the talk. I had to walk the talk, But they saw me. He saw me and a couple of other teammates too out there in practice and whatnot. That was pretty cool. I mean, they actually saw us get ready for our practice, not theirs, our practice, whatever. As far as okay, this is the reason why they are hard on us, because they saw our coaches were hard on us. You see what I'm saying? So people will always watch what you're doing. It doesn't matter what age. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing it comes down to. Once you have that strong enough passion, that desire, that's always going to move you toward that, no matter what obstacles in your way, health-wise, family issues, people just being negative or just don't understand or whatever, that's always going to help push you, and that's the correct self-talk, as far as this was going to help you out. You know what I mean? Not to be like in the back of your mind, I'm going to quit this or whatever. Well, guess what? You already lost right there. It's sometimes like hanging out with some guys too that I've played against here locally as far as semi-pro, and they were talking, going back to words too. I didn't know right or rip too, as far as like limiting themselves. I'm like, we just won. I already knew the game was over. You know, we have to be on a football field. The game's a wrap. We got it. Because you basically see yourself like, yeah, we don't have a shot. You know what? You're right. Game's over. We won. It comes down to something simple like that. You might see us cocky and whatnot, or being overconfident. Nah, it's just that mentality. It's like I will step on the field having the mentality. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and win. Even if I'm going to make a mistake, I already know right or rip. I'm going to make it that next play. You know, and it's kind of it's funny because I've seen more first downs or touchdowns. Where the ball's behind my way because I'm an offensive lineman. Because I always know in the back of my head, mistake or not, I'm going to make up for this. I'm going to just go ahead and really execute this play. That's the type of mentality you got to have. It's not so much on the sporting field, but anything in life general. See where we're getting at? So again, keep on mentioning, don't limit yourself when don't be around the cynical mindset as far as just settling. Why not always keep on watching this? Go for better, bigger and better things. Some people again will probably say, "Oh man, that's greedy." No, it's not. We're looking for advancement. Walter's missing that in science of getting rich. As we as humans always want to advance. So why do you want to be? Why in the world you want to be where you're at? You see what I'm saying? Always continue to improve yourself, educate yourself, and be something that Bob Proctor is being a great example himself. A lot of other motivational speakers being a lifelong learner. That's what it comes down to. So that's just, again, I have to mention, I don't know if you want to keep on going too, Patricia, as far as what you had on there.
Well, I only had one other thing, and it was to say that I have no clue where to start. Well, I could tell you where to start, and that is to start with our team. And if you scroll down, if you're watching us here on the video here, and our link, what you need to do is just scroll down and you'll see a little green button that says, yes, let me in, right? And there's a blue button down below there. And that is a free ebook that we give away that you can have. And then also, as you see, if you scroll down more, you could click to watch the full video presentation, which is, again, to the part with, yes, let me in. You can join our business. Then you can also share this on Facebook, Twitter, Google, LinkedIn, or Pinterest. So we're telling you where to start. Then you can also scroll down a little bit more and you could leave us a comment. That is always helpful. We'd love to hear what our viewers say about our broadcast here, our live broadcast that we have every Friday. And we are missing a few members. One of our friend Neil has been battling something that his doctors don't know what it is he's battling, so he didn't feel good. He's not on here, and a few others could not get on today. But Neil and I try to get on every Friday. I'm sorry, Andre and I try to get on here every Friday so that we could help you start a business. And if you join our teams, you will know where to start. Because one thing about teams and team building is that we all have different skill sets and levels that even if you're a newbie, like you would be in joining our company, especially if you've never done an online business, you don't have to say that as a limiting belief, because we'll help you. We'll help you where to start. We'll help you focus in on what you need to be doing on a daily basis to achieve the level of success that you want for yourself and for your family and for your business. And I like, Andre, when you mentioned your why, to have that why. That is so crucial. And if you are a parent, how much more so are your kids and your spouse to do a business for them to be successful at it, and always trying to strive to be a better person, to develop your mind set on whatever it is you want to achieve in life, but especially in business. Again, money is a tool. We're not saying that you're going to make a lot of money. It depends on your work ethic and what you do. You have to see our income disclaimer. And to realize that not everybody makes it in an online business, but you could be that 2% that has the drive, like Andre and I, to want to do a business. And it's not, let's face it, Andre, it's not cut out for everybody. right? Maybe this is not them. This is not their passion. And once they realize that, then, it's not for them. And we don't want everybody to join our business. We want people to be laser focused, as I love what you always say, Andre, on their passion, how to achieve it, what their whys are, and how to achieve those goals. Again, if you don't know about the business that we're in, to teach you so that you could learn. And then from that aspect of what you're learning about our business, then you can really focus in on what it is to brand yourself. Like I said, I use the fact that I am older, and I try to attract people who are my age that are retiring or are retired and want to make a little bit extra money, but they do not want to work at Walmart. And they need that income in an online business because let's face it, I don't have to go on the freeway anymore. I don't have to travel back and forth anymore. I love working from home. So, click that button below where it says, yes, let me in and join us.
Yeah, and also too, while you're at it, on top of what we mentioned, that as well, as far as the systems, like only for $7, not bad for a 2-week trial as well. So you can see the system what we mentioned earlier. You can also see within that too, this is a support team. Obviously you have Patricia and I as well, and a whole bunch of others as well in our community that will be able to help you. Also just be able to find out exactly what it is that you want. What's the system would also ask you as well once you go through everything as well. And also get your free download too for the PDFs that we have. So you can pretty much help change up a lot of those affirmations that you have. It just to say if they were negative, they can help turn that into a positive big time. And it's something that, to be honest with you, have to pretty much read over and over and over and over and over again just to really digest it. You might be able to pick up on it a couple times, but it's something that, you want to keep on going back to that as well. Just continue to read. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So if you got also value from what we shared here below this evening, comment below. Comment below. I'd like to read your comments as well, as far as what value that you did get from this as well. So that being said, we'll see you same time, same place next week. So whether it be 6 p.m. here Eastern time or 3 p.m. Pacific time, or out there in the UK if it's 11 p.m. their time. We'll see you then.
Yes, see you. Thanks for joining us. Peace.